Okay, hi, I'm Mike McCright. This is kind of funny talking to a camera, so you'll have to forgive me, and you'll probably need to clip out a couple sections.
Now we will. Other than that.
Okay, well, I'll try it all over again. Okay, I'm Mike McCright. Basically, I manage Old Wagon Dairy Goats. Old Wagon Dairy Goats is a cooperatively owned herd of dairy goats that are on my farm in the hills above Escondido. I provide...
San Diego, right?
Yes, Escondido is, of course, in San Diego County. And I provide raw dairy products, milk, kefir, yogurt, buttermilk, cottage cheese, chev, sometimes other cheeses, to people all over San Diego County. From, North County, the coast, San Diego proper, and other places as well.
And it's raw goat milk.
Yeah, it's all raw. Mm-hmm. It's raw unless occasionally somebody wants like some ricotta or something like that. And ricotta is heated to 190 degrees. So, if they want some ricotta, then I'll make some ricotta. Otherwise, it's all raw.
Can you talk about the difference between the digestion that you were talking about earlier from milk from a cow and milk from a goat?
Meaning, how we digest it? Well, basically, you digest goat milk. Like goat milk here, different than cow's milk, is the milk in a cow, the fat in a cow's milk is about 5 times, the globules are about 5 times the size of they are in a goat milk, which they call it goat milk being naturally homogenized, and that helps you to digest it easier than you do if you're drinking cow's milk. That's there's minor differences, little ones, but that's the only real big one between cow and goat that I'm aware of. And I personally think that goat's milk is a little better for you regardless than cow's milk is. It's a little more attuned to energetically than cow's milk is. I could go on, but it gets kind of esoteric there. This is my opinion, okay? And I'm a guy that is very much a proponent for raw milk, but in my opinion, pasteurized milk isn't even good for you. You got the huge marketing people that want to, tell you, okay, got milk, do this, and, they've got various slogans. But the fact is that when you drink the pasteurized milk, you're not getting the nutrition that you think you're getting. Like calcium is a pretty good example. How much calcium that starts off in the milk actually is assimilated by your body after it becomes heated? And it's not really as much as you might think it is. It's actually one of the things it's my understanding, I don't know this I haven't researched it myself, but from what I understand, it actually pulls calcium out of the bones by drinking pasteurized milk. Raw milk builds it up. I've got one of the co-op owners over in Encinitas. She's actually getting remineralization of her teeth. She had cracks and fissures in her teeth by drinking the raw milk and her other diet that the doctor had prescribed for her. She found that these cracks just went away, and her teeth are becoming strong and white with no cracks at all. So you're getting the minerals, the nutrition that you need. You're also getting bacteria that actually comes from, like a mother's milk has bacteria in it before it leaves the breast. Okay, and that's necessary for the digestive process to work, the probiotic activity happening within your intestines. And you got that activity with raw milk, and you're not going to get it with the pasteurized milk. You don't have to add vitamin this or vitamin that to it. You're already getting it. One of the benefits that you can also get from raw goat's milk, especially when they eat a lot of brush, and depending, a couple of them, is you tend to have less problems with allergies with goat's milk. And I don't think that really exists much with cattle because they don't eat stuff like that. But also another one is that when kids that are raised on goat's milk, where the goats were able to eat poison oak and poison ivy, the kids have an immunity to that, which I think is kind of cool.
Really? Never heard that before.
I've known people that were raised on goat's milk, and they could just run right through it and cause a problem.
So it's similar to eating local honey.
Yeah, exactly.
That's heavy.
So can we talk about the benefits of kefir?
Oh, well, real quick, I wanted to ask him about here in San Diego, how you're doing the delivery system and the people buying into the herd. I think that's interesting.
Okay. Well, it's not open at present, but it will become next spring. And when somebody buys into the herd, they then become an owner of the herd. Okay, as an owner of the herd, I just take care of their animals for them. I'm an owner of the herd too, don't get me wrong. But I'm taking care of the owner's animals, and I'm providing their milk back to them. Right? So then it's all fully legal that I'm aware of, certainly. You know, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Even though raw milk's legal in California, you don't have a license to sell it, so this is the way that...
No, you need a grade A dairy. You have to be a grade A dairy in order to sell milk. And there's only 2 raw milk dairies, and they're both cow. I'm pretty sure nobody'd ever do it for goats. Goats happen to work on my land quite well, and that's one of the reasons why I like the goat. I've got a whole hillside full of brush, you know, and we go for walks, and they go eating on the brush, and plus I, you know, clean out my garden and give them blackberry vines, raspberry vines. I'm clipping poison oak and feeding them, and mulberry leaves and all this other stuff.
What did people used to feed goats before, like a long time ago, or people just getting by with feeding them whatever slush from...
Oh, you're talking about the brewery slop thing?
Brewery slop.
That was more so with cows than it is for goats, but it also applies to goats depending upon how that works. See, the way the raw milk... the pasteurization laws in our country came into effect, it's my understanding, in the 30s. The way that they came into effect is because people were getting diseases from the milk they were drinking. You know, and that was, at that time, that was a really smart idea. But you have to take a look back at what that time was. That was days before stainless steel. It was days, you know, when, you know, these glass jars weren't commonly available, you know, like you're making kefir in. That's when kids went out barefoot, walking through the manure yards, right? Walking into the barn barefoot with a wooden bucket in their hand. They didn't have hygiene, they didn't know about hygiene the way it exists right now. Milking the goats, and the cows are more so than that, right? So hygiene didn't have a role back then. They didn't have refrigeration. Now, when cities began forming, you know, that we had cities, but they weren't big.
So it's more of an industrial age thing.
Exactly. As we became more of an industrial age and people flocked to the cities for the jobs, you know, also the food supplies became more centralized in the city. Also the breweries, distilleries. Well, the breweries and distilleries, now they've got spent grains, you know, as part of the distilling processes, you know, the hops, the barley and malts and all that other stuff. Now, what do they do with all this stuff? And what they did is they fed it to the cattle. Well, cattle feed's kind of expensive, you know, going out and getting fresh hay is kind of expensive. A good bale of hay runs about $20. Really doesn't last all that long. So anyways, what they did is they fed these brewery slops to the animals, and the animals were getting sick because they created an acid condition within their bodies, made them prone to disease, just as it would for any of us if we, you know, eat certain foods, you know, drink too much alcohol, lots of cooked meats and all that sort of thing, that we will also have an acid condition that will cause us to attract disease. You know,